Good evening, friends. We are discussing regarding the topic of pharmacy from the organ of medicine. And up till now, we have learned certain aspects of pharmacy. In order to do homeopathic practice, we must have a knowledge about it, even though it never requires practically, because we get the ready-made medicines from the pharmacies. Those who do the PG in pharmacy, they must know it. For the rest of the practitioners, for the knowledge purpose, it is necessary, because if someone asks you regarding it, if someone talks you about it, if some allopathic practitioner asks you regarding it, then it is one of the important thing one must know. And for that purpose, we must have thorough knowledge about it. Our master, Dr. Samuel Hahnemann, for this purpose, have written all those aphorisms and included in the organ of medicine. And he explained exactly what he exactly mean by the dynamization, potentization, how it is scientific, why it is scientific. All aspects he tried to explain over there. Now, from the aphorism number 270 onwards, in fact, it is a very big aphorism which has been introduced newly to the 6th edition of Organ of Medicine, and in which he introduced new scale of preparation of medicine, which is labeled as a 50 millesimal scale or LM scale. Then, how to go ahead with this LM scale or a 50 millesimal scale? The actual method in detail have been explained by him in this aphorism along with its footnotes. So we have to go through this aphorism. I think it will require 2-3 days to complete this aphorism, because it is big and one must understand it by heart. There are many footnotes also. We have to go with aphorism and at the same time with the footnotes, because unless and until we understand the footnotes, we will not understand the further part of the aphorism. And that's why while learning this aphorism, we'll go stepwise. So we'll start with the aphorism number 270, where he has mentioned how to prepare LM or 50 millesimal scale. Aphorism 270. In order to best obtain this development of a power, a small part of the substance to be dynamized, say 1 grain, is saturated for 3 hours with 3 times 100 grains sugar of milk, according to the method described below. And there is a footnote number 150. So again, he mentioned how to prepare a 1C potency with the help of a trituration method. He has explained in thorough over there. So if you are preparing 1C, it is nothing but 1 by 100. When you are preparing 2C, it is 1 by 10,000. So in the similar manner, he tried to explain over there, and the method is mentioned in the footnote. So we'll learn the footnote 150 first, and then we'll continue with the aphorism so that you will understand it in a better manner. So what he says in 150 footnote, 1/3 of the 100 grain sugar of milk is put in a glazed porcelain mortar. The bottom dulled previously by rubbing it with fine moist sand. So out of 100 millions of sugar of milk, 1/3 part of the sugar of milk one should take in a clean porcelain mortar. It should be absolutely dry. It should not be moistened. Upon this powder, put 1 grain of powdered drug to be triturated. 1 drop of quicksilver or petroleum, etc. Whatever the medicine which you are going to prepare, 1 grain of that powder should be added in this 1/3 part of 100 grains of sugar of milk. Then he explained the sugar of milk used for dynamization must be of that special pure quality that is crystallized on strings and comes to us in the shape of long bars. For a moment, the medicine and powder are mixed with porcelain spatula and triturated rather strong 6 to 7 minutes with pestle rubbed dull. Then the mass is scraped from the bottom of the mortar and from the pestle for 3 to 4 minutes in order to make it homogeneous. So he has explained that how to go ahead. Now you have to start with the triturating, applying a proper force. Do it for 6 to 7 minutes. And after doing, then with the help of a spatula, whatever is stuck to the mortar, you must remove it with the spatula. At the same time, at the bottom of pestle, whatever is there, rub it and mix it together so that it becomes homogeneous. Then again for next 6 to 7 minutes, again go on triturating in the similar manner. Then again remove that whatever the powder is stuck to the mortar as well as pestle with the help of spatula. So 20 minutes now they are finished. Now out of remaining 2/3, again add 1/3 powder into that. Then go with the same procedure. So he mentions over there, this is followed by triturating in the same way 6 to 7 minutes without adding anything more, and again scraping 3 to 4 minutes from what added to the mortar and pestle. The second third of the sugar milk is now added, mixed with the spatula and again triturated 6 to 7 minutes, followed by the scraping for 3 to 4 minutes and trituration without further addition for 6 to 7 minutes. So after 40 minutes is finished, then again add last third of the sugar of milk. So the last third of sugar of milk is then added, mixed with spatula and triturated as before 6 to 7 minutes with careful scrapings together. The powder thus prepared is put in a vial, well corked, protected from direct sunlight, to which the name of the substance and the designation of the first product marked 1/100 is given. So this is called as 1C potency. This is a very important thing. This is how a 1 centesimal scale in a triturated form you can prepare. Exact method he has mentioned over there. In order to raise this product to the 1/10,000, so you have to increase it by 100 times. What one can do? 1 grain of the powder 1/100 is mixed with the third part of the 100 grains of the powder, sugar of milk, and then proceed as before. But every third must be carefully triturated twice thoroughly each time for 6 to 7 minutes and scraped together 3 to 4 minutes before the second and the last third of the sugar of milk is added. After each third, the same procedure is taken. When all is finished, the powder is put in a well-corked vial and labeled by 1/10,000, called as 2C potency. See, this is the method with which we go ahead. So see, we are triturating. It is nearly for 1 hour in order to prepare 1C potency. We apply that much of force, because of which the further dividation of the nucleus of the atoms happens to be there, liberating the energy. And every time you are doing it, every 20 minutes you are doing it, every 1 hour you are doing it, and after 1 hour you come to the second 2C potency. Then again you have to do it for another 1 hour so that you can prepare 3C potency. So what he says, when all is finished, the powder is put in a well-corked vial and labeled by 1/10,000. If now 1 grain of this last powder is taken in this way, in the same way, the 1/1 million, that is one each grain containing 1/1 million, the original substance. Accordingly, such saturation of the 3 degree requires 6 to 7 minutes for saturating and 6 times 3 to 4 minutes for scraping. Thus 1 hour for every degree. After 1 hour such saturation of the first degree, each grain will contain 1/100, and the second 1/10,000, and the third 1/10 lakh, that is 1 million of the drug used. There is a star over there. The star explains exactly what he wants to say over there. So what he says in that star, these are the 3 degrees, means 3C, of the dry powder trituration, which, if carried out correctly, will effect a good beginning for the dynamization of the medicinal substance. So if you want to prepare 50 millesimal scale, you have to reach to the 3C potency first, and that is the powder which you have to take into consideration in order to prepare the mother solution of the 50 millisimals. So see, this is the method with which you have to go ahead. So first prepare up to 3C potency in a triturated form, and out of which then you have to take into a further powder. What he says further in that footnote, mortar, pestle and scapula must be cleaned well before they are used for another medicine. See, this is cautious. He has explained all cautions also. Washed first with warm water and dried, both mortar and pestle as well as spatula are then put in a kettle of boiling water for half an hour. So how to preserve those mortar, spatula, then pestle, that also he has mentioned how to go ahead. Precaution might be used to such an extent as to put these utensils on a coal fire exposed to the glowing heat. So then they are again dried up with the coal fire, and then it should be cleared up. So see how to keep your utensils ready for the next preparation of medicine, that also he has mentioned over there. So see, this is how we have to go with the 3C potency when you are preparing the 50 millisimal, and thereafter you have to go ahead in order to prepare the mother solution. So now we'll turn towards the aphorism again. So what we have learned, in order to best obtain this development of a power, a small part of substance to be dynamized, say 1 grain, is saturated for 3 hours with 3 times 100 grain sugar of milk, according to the method described below, up to the 1 millionth part in powder form. For reasons given below, 1 grain of this powder. So now you have prepared 3C potency, that is in powder form. Out of that 100 grains of powder, you have to take only 1 grain. So take 1 grain of this powder and is dissolved in 500 of mixture of 1 part of alcohol and 4 parts of the distilled water. Means you have to put a drop, 500 drops, out of which 100 drops are of alcohol and 400 drops of water. That is a mixture. So that also he has mentioned that how to prepare that alcohol. It is 1 part of alcohol with the 1 part of alcohol with 4 parts of the distilled water. That this is how you have to prepare. So if you have to prepare 500 drops of alcohol, you have to take the 100 drops of alcohol plus add 400 drops of the water, and that diluted alcohol you have to put into the wine. So what he says, 1 grain of this powder is dissolved in 500 drops of mixture of 1 part of alcohol and 4 parts of distilled water, of which 1 drop is put in a vial. Atha, you have prepared this. You have prepared 3C potency, then you have taken 1 grain of it, then you have added 500 drops of diluted alcohol over there, and out of that, you have taken only 1 drop. So, of which 1 drop is full. So, it becomes 1 by 500. Is it clear to you? You have prepared a 500 drops of liquid in which there is a 1 grain of original medicinal substance, which is we have prepared up to 3C, and we have put it in a 500 drops of alcohol, which is diluted in 1:4 part of with water. And now, out of which 1 drop you have taken into consideration. So, out of 500 drops, you have taken 1 by 500, only 1 drop. To these are added 100 drops of pure alcohol. So 1 by 500 plus 100 drops of alcohol. So how much it has become? It has become 1 by 50,000. 100 drops of pure alcohol and given 100 strong succussions with hand against the hard but elastic body. See, this is the preparation. Many students and many practitioners doesn't know. They understand that in decimal scale there are 10 succussions, in centesimal there are 100 succussions, and in 50 millisimal they consider it is 50,000 succussions. No. Here in 50 millisimal scales, when you prepare medicine, you have to give 100 succussions, not 50,000 succussions. So now you have taken 1 drop of out of 500 drops, so that becomes 1 by 500. You have added 100 drops of alcohol over there, and now it becomes how much it has become? It has become 1 drop into 100 drop. Okay, and how much succussions you have given? You have given 100 succussions. What he says further? There is one footnote to this, 151 footnote. The vial used for potentizing is filled with 2/3 full. So what he says, pure alcohol that which you are going to added, that 100 drops of pure alcohol, that vial should be filled up to 2/3. Then there is one more footnote, footnote number 152, perhaps on a leather bound book. So that whenever we give the succussions, we used to keep a leather pack over there and we used to utilize that succussion method. And then when we stuck, it should be reflect back. And that's why it should be made up of a leather bound book. Then he says, this is the medicine in the first degree of dynamization, with which small globules may then be moistened and quickly spread on the blotting paper to dry and kept in a well-corked vial with the sign of 1 degree of potency. See what he is saying. Now what he has done, you have taken the 1 part of the 1 drop out of 500 drops of 500 drops of that medicine which you have prepared. Then you have added 100 drops of pure alcohol, and now you have given the 100 succussions. That this medicine which you have prepared is in a liquid form. Then you have to make a globules of it. So this medicine is the first degree of dynamization, with which small sugar globules may then be moistened. So how to moisten the globules? That procedure is mentioned in 153. Let us see, we will finish up to this only today, this footnote. They are prepared under supervision by the confectioner परफेक्शनर म्हणजे जसा मिठाई करणारा माणूस असतो तसं. The under the supervision by the confectioner from starch and globe sugar and the small globules freed from fine dusty parts by passing them through the sieve. Sieve means churn. Then they are put through a strainer. Strainer is again one type of sieve that will permit only 100 to pass through the weighing 1 grain, the most serviceable size for the needs of the homeopathic physician. So now you have to take 100 globules and you have to put that solution, 1 drop of that solution on those globules so that they should be moistened and they should be quickly spread on blotting paper. So what he says, these globules should be immediately spread on the blotting paper so that it will not get dissolved. It carries only the medicine and remain literally just moistened, not getting dissolved. This is very important thing which one has to do. So we have come up to the only one half part of how to prepare LM skin. Everything today, if I am going to explain, it will create a jumbling. My suggestion to all of you, just read this procedure again. So it will revise you a pharmacy procedure in a proper manner. It will revise how to prepare the centesimal scale in your mind. Then it will revise the mathematical calculations which he has mentioned, that how you have prepared up to 1/10 lakh or 1/1 million part. That also you will going to understand with that. And then out of which how one part of the medicinal substance should be taken, how it should be dissolved in 500 drops of dilute alcohol that is been prepared in 1:4 proportion. And then out of that 500 drops, you have to take only 1 drops. So all this procedure you have to take into consideration and learn it by heart. If you learn by heart, then you will not forget up to this. Then we'll continue with it tomorrow so that you are going to understand that aspect in thorough. So we'll stop over here up to the footnote number 153, and then we'll go ahead with the further part of the aphorism along with the footnotes which are mentioned over there, so that it will become fixed in your mind, that method of preparing the 50 millesimal scale, so that you must have in your mind the concept clear about the 50 millesimal. Now we'll have just a discussion. There are many thoughts in people's mind. Basically, we used to consider in a wrong way the understanding about the potency. We consider the decimal is the most mild potency, the strong potency is centesimal, and most strong is the 50 millesimal. This is misunderstanding about the potencies. We must keep it in your mind, the dilution in these 3 scales. In decimal scale, dilution is 1:10. In centesimal, dilution is 1:200. And in 50 millesimal, dilution is 1/50,000. So here, there is no comparison of decimal and centesimal with the most mild form of potency, that is the 50 millesimal. Keep it in your mind. Most mild and most safe potency in your practice is 50 millesimal scale, because you have diluted the medicine by 1/50,000 every time, and that's why it is rather a most safe potency to be utilized in your practice. So keep it in your mind always that you can repeat it as per requirement without any hesitation, without any query in mind. Second important thing, it will not cause any type of severe aggravation which can be caused because of centesimal. So even in pathological cases, you can safely utilize that. Sometimes in acute, if it has been needed to repeat this potency, is again useful potency if you want to repeat over there. So keep it in your mind. Most mild and most safe potency which he introduced in the homeopathy is this latest explained by Hahnemann, the 50 millesimal scale. So the part of it is finished in today's session. Tomorrow we'll continue with the same again. If there are any queries, we'll have a discussion for 5 minutes. Otherwise, we'll conclude. Sir, any queries? I'm
Sir?
not getting your voice.
Sir?
Hmm.
Succussion means we have to bang in the leather bag.
Hmm. Yes, yes.
Leather book we have to bang this thing like this.
This now there are
Succussion.
now there are instruments in the pharmacies.
But before they used to bang.
Yes, yes, with the hand. During Hahnemannian time, that was the only method.
Okay, okay.
That really this procedure it is a really as if you are bowling and it is full swing with which you have to bang. This was the stroke. That much force one has to apply.
Then preparing one medicine itself, it will take some days.
Yes, at that time it used to take. That's why they used to use not very high potencies. If you go through the boric, you will find 3C, 6C. They never used more than that. Then boric and Tafel, they have developed the pharmacies over there. Then the instrumentation came, and then further potencies developed. Any other query, question? So we'll conclude today's session. Tomorrow night, Thursday night, most probably we'll have a session of last remaining part of the aurum salts. 3 aurum salts we have discussed in last session. Tomorrow we'll finish remaining 3 so that the aurum group will get completed. So those who have not yet joined with our divine school, my suggestion, please join with our divine school by paying light membership once 500 rupees. Please transfer your fees to my mobile number 98901688872 and be a member of Divine School of Homeopathy. So that's just a request. And thanks to all of you. We'll meet again tomorrow with the evening session of Organon first and then the Divine School session at 9 o'clock. Thanks a lot.